Coming up next is a very crucial topic within retail, debating the different formats. Now, department stores were long predicted to be dead in the US, but they're not dead yet. However, they're surely facing difficult times, which is making them think fresh. On the other hand, department stores still have their charm here in the Middle East. And while outdoor markets and pop-ups have always existed in the West, now we're discovering the unique nature of pop-ups and trucks and this whole format. Now, alongside the regional malls, the region is warming up to and demanding for strip and community shopping centers. And of course, not to forget the line between offline and online, with several shopping malls implementing strong digital strategies. So there's so much to debate, and I'm going to leave it up to our moderator and our panelists to take it off. So please join me in welcoming on stage someone who is a true believer in identifying and developing talent. He's been a mentor to many of the region's CEOs across the UAE and Saudi Arabia. He is Alex Andarakis. And now we'll introduce our panelists. Mr. Alexander Teodorescu, founder of Truckers DXB. Mr. Pavik Javeri, founder and CEO of Ambab. Mr. Bhupinder Singh, General Manager and CFO of Dalma Mall. Mr. Fahimuddin, CEO of Cityland Group.
Located at the heart of Dubai lies Cityland Mall, redefining retail, entertainment and green sustainability. Well positioned on the E311, Cityland Mall has a catchment to more than 1 million of the city's most affluent residents and direct access to key visitor attraction, Global Village. With over 350 fashion and retail brands, a 14-screen cinema, unique family entertainment centre and Dubailand's largest international hypermarket, Cityland Mall will serve the community in every sense when it opens in 2018. There is covered parking for more than 6,000 cars, while the planned metro line, bus terminus and highway interchange will further attract both residents and visitors. Cityland Mall's innovative interior design reflects the multicultural nature of Dubai itself, with 6 distinct cultural pavilions, each designed to create the perfect ambience. A groundbreaking feature of Cityland Mall is Central Park, a lush 360-degree, 200,000 square foot rooftop garden space, which also features a miniature water park, children's amphitheatre, serene Japanese garden and ancient African tree garden. Created by the developers of Dubai Miracle Gardens, the world's largest flower garden with more than 150 million flowers, visitors to Central Park can soak in the atmosphere at their leisure, either in the alfresco shade or inside at one of Central Park's restaurants or cafes. Then enjoy browsing within Central Park's own selected cafes and eateries. With a retail mix that offers the best of the world's international and local brands, more than 75 dining options, some of the region's most unique entertainment experiences, and the lush green landscapes of Central Park, Cityland Mall is the future of innovative shopping and entertainment experiences. Cityland Mall.
Mr. Mohammed Galal, President and CEO of Tasweeq Shopping Malls. Mr. Muhammad Hawashi, CEO and co-founder of Storefront. Mr. Phil MacArthur, founder of MacArthur & Company. You have a lot of friends in the audience. And finally, Mr. Vijay Talreja, co-founder of Adapti.
Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and it's my great honor to once again be associated with the Retail Middle East Forum, an event that I've personally seen develop from its embryonic state to a world-class platform over the last 6 years. For that, the organisers, Images Multimedia, must be congratulated for their constant reinvention of this particular platform. Well done. I am Alex Andrakis, the founder and managing director of Andrakis Advisory Services, a boutique management consultancy and creative agency specialising in services across all real estate asset classes, and have done over 20 major assignments in the retail mall sector. Unlike some of the gentlemen that are with me who are very specialists and in what they do and experts, my job mostly has been in creating or reinventing the value proposition of a retail mall, and the part that I really enjoy is actually creating the personality for the mall. This year the theme of the event has been focused on decoding retail in the age of disruption. And I was very amused, and I actually quite liked the tagline of unspoken, unseen, unheard. But today we are going to speak a lot about things, and we are going to try and unearth whatever we can. And truly as an industry, I think we are at the crossroads of reinvention and the recalibration of our operating models, our manpower, and our ability to not only provide stuff, but to deliver an experience. The debate that I need to marshal and referee today, and I hope I don't have to referee the gentlemen around me too much, is the headline of Retail 360. And I have the pleasure to be sitting with some of the leading experts on change within the industry around the globe. So joining me today, if each of you can just spend a little bit of time just to introduce yourself. I know you've had a general introduction, but a little bit about what you do.
All right, sure. Thank you so much. Hi, I'm Vijay, co-founder of a firm called Adapti. We are digital commerce experts. What we heard earlier, I think, from an omni-channel strategy, this is something that we expertise there, and we've been working with quite a few retailers across the globe, headquartered out of the US. We work with quite a few luxury brands in the US, managing their online stores, setting it up, and then taking them omni-channel, making sure that they are also able to deliver results out of the strategies that they are putting together. So our job is to make sure that they are successful. They are successfully integrated completely across their online channels to our stores, making sure they are able to actually get the single customer view that everybody talks about when they talk about omni-channel, right? So this is where our specialization comes in. We are a small team of 200 people, work with quite a few global retailers, definitely doing some interesting work in this region. We're setting up a marketplace here for handmade design products. There are quite a few things that we're doing in this region. Pretty excited to be here today.
Thanks, Vijay.
It's a privilege to be here. My name is Mohammed Galal. I am president of TSM Mall Management, and we've added a new entity to our organization now. It's called Crenovations. We are into real estate mixed-use shopping centers development. We were just doing management for investors for their shopping centers throughout the years. And then since 2013, we have established our own TSM fund, and we are developing our own shopping centers, not in the main principal cities of Cairo. We're from Egypt, we're Egyptians. And we're headquartered in Cairo, but we're now developing mixed-use projects in the secondary cities of Egypt. And we're partnered with the big hypermarkets or the large ones like Majd Al Futtaim, Carrefour, and Panda from Saudi Arabia, doing all our projects in Egypt. And also lately, we started a retail fund, and we're now basically adopting new SMEs and new concepts of Egyptian retailers and inventors to try to like bring their concepts into more advanced markets like in the GCC or even in Europe. We started that with few Egyptian brands who are into manufacturing of Egyptian textile, and we got them into the UK and into France. And it's a privilege again to be around you here today. Thank you.
Thank you, Mohammed.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Bhupinder Singh. I'm the General Manager and CFO for Dalma Mall. I've been here this part of the world for the last 20 years. And this journey is being started with Masjid al-Flaim, then to Imar, Miras, and now in Dalma Mall. 7 years in Dalma Mall have been very challenging for us. And in fact, it's not only Dalma Mall, we are one of the developers in Abu Dhabi. We have aspirations to do hospitality business as well as other retail. And in the recent past, we added entertainment into our portfolio. And going from here, definitely in the next 5 years, we want to see ourselves into asset management, into hospitality, as well as retail and F&B. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. This is Bhavik Zaveri. I've been a serial entrepreneur over a decade in consumer internet businesses. I represent a company called AMBAB. AMBAB is India-based product incubator. We work with some of the best retailers and enterprises globally to build their consumer internet presence from scratch. Today, as we speak, we work with 80 plus brands in the region and building their consumer internet and omni-channel strategies right from scratch. We've spent close to 2 years in the region now, and we understand the challenges around ecosystem technology infrastructure that the region provides. I think it should be really great to hear the discussion around and be part of it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Everybody, my name is Alex. I'm the founder of Truckers DXB, and it's my 3rd year here, so very happy to be back. We are a little bit of an outlier here on the panel because I'm typically the guy who wants to get people outside of the mall, and with my team, we've been I think successful in the past 4 years of creating that platform where we get a lot of food trucks out there. So you've seen probably all this movement with the food trucks and the pop-ups, and we're really expanding our reach across the country a lot in the last year. So happy to be back.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Fahimuddin. I'm Chief Executive Officer for Cityland Group of Companies. I have joined Cityland Group almost 3 years now, and I've come from a corporate banking background where I spent almost 20 years in corporate banking. During my career of 20 years, I've learned various business models beside cash flows and financing, and I've been utilizing all my 20 years of experience in assessing the business models and bringing up to the communities some world-class projects like Dubai Miracle Garden and Dubai Butterfly Garden. And now Cityland has been working actively on bringing together a brand new concept in the field of shopping and entertainment, which is called Cityland Mall. And we have been quite successful in designing this facility in line with the cultures and society's taste of Dubai. And I believe this would be a very wonderful project for the whole world, not only for Dubai. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Mohammed. I'm the CEO of Storefront. We are the world's largest pop-up shop marketplace. We are more or less Airbnb for retail spaces, and our mission is to make retail accessible to every ID. We launched the company out of the US 4 years ago with this mission that retail spaces should be accessible to every possible brand and retailers. And since then, we've been compared as Airbnb, the snapshot of retail. And as a marketplace, we work with shopping mall companies, real estate managers, insurance, banks. And on the other side of the marketplace, we've been working with the top retailers, the Nike, Adidas of this world. L'Oreal did their first ever pop-up shop with us. Kanye West did the same with us also. And we would love to obviously develop our marketplace in the Middle East, and that's the reason why I'm here today. Thank you.
I want to talk to you later. My name is Phil MacArthur. I'm the managing director of MacArthur and Company. We're about 25 people in offices in Dubai, in Cairo, and in Kuala Lumpur. We work with shopping center owners on mapping out strategies based on in-depth market research, coming up with solutions for developers on how to execute their retail real estate. So we're involved in mainly consulting, leasing, and management of shopping malls.
Fantastic. All right, let's get the debate started. And my first question is for my dear friend here, Bhupinder. From being places to shop, shopping malls have changed into lifestyle, entertainment, and open space destinations. What do you believe are the major challenges that this transformation has for the mall of the future and the mall operator of today?
Good afternoon, everyone, once again. See, now, in one word, I would like to say the shopping mall has evolved in this part of the world for the last 20 years into manifold. What we saw 20 years back, starting with Bajman Center and what we see today, I think things have changed manifold. Like we said, that lifestyle is added into it, and we forgot to mention F&B, which, as I agree with Mr. Phil, always is a second anchor, which has added to the portfolio of shopping malls. Now, shopping malls today is not only going to the shopping mall and buying stuff, it's an experience. Of late, for the last 4 or 5 years, I've seen a big change. Like people come to the mall, they want to spend a day. When somebody wants to spend a day, you have to create an experience for them that they should have a entertainment embedded in it, they should have their appetite or their food and beverage are included in it, as well as they can do shopping. Now, as a family, when you go to the mall, you see a family, there's kids, they need entertainment, maybe your spouse, she wants to go to the store for some merchandise, and you usually want to get entertained and want to have a food. So in general, shopping malls have evolved last 5 years into many ways. Those who didn't go with the pace, they are struggling today. And you would see that many malls are struggling, the reason being they didn't go with the pace of the way things are changing. You have to understand your audiences. You have to understand the market need. Those who don't go to the pace, they suffer. Every time we talk about, there's a debate, like shopping malls are struggling because online is taking over. But it's not true. Shopping malls are struggling because they are competing with themselves. Maybe there's the issue of a supply, rather omni-channels or rather .com business. Look at the data collected today. 99% of the retail is coming from brick and mortar. Only 1% is from .com. So .com is not a challenge. Challenge is itself. Now how you evolve your retail asset in near future. Very recently, I have seen the way retail is evolved here. F&B and entertainment is added to the concept in a big way. Today you see 30% of the GL of the malls is F&B and entertainment. I think 10 years back, it used to sit at 10%. So this is one big change which has come to the shopping mall. The reason being, because this is what the audience want. This is what your demographic want. So if you understand the need of your audiences, you'll be successful. Coming back to online and offline. Now, online is basically an exception to the rule. What is the rule? Brick and mortar. 99% of the retail happen from brick and mortar. So concentrate there, keep evolving, keep adding new stuff. Like today we see the food trucks coming into the mall. We see the malls are opening up their facades and they want to have a blend of open mall versus closed mall. So within one category you can give both the aspects so that people can enjoy a different scheme of the mall. So this is what I have seen over a period of last 5 years. The malls have changed manifold, and those who go with the pace, they will survive. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, that's great because we talk about the experience, and my next question is to Alex, and it's really about how successful has your concept been in allowing people to transition out of malls whilst offering them an alternative source of entertainment for people within this particular region, and specifically for people in this region across very different seasonal weather patterns and everything else?
Yeah, so just to answer this question, I can bring you guys back to when we started, which seems like a long time ago in Dubai, but it was only 4 years ago, a little bit more, where and how it started and why we decided to do this. I was never into the events world. I was never into the retail world. I always came at it from the cultural perspective. I used to work with the city of Montreal in developing cultural concepts and festivals here in the region. So one day I had this comment that was really coming to us again and again from visiting people that really didn't take the time to really get to know Dubai. And these people were saying to us, there's nothing real to do in Dubai. Is it only the malls? And I'm like, no, I know the other side also. So let me show you. And so we decided to work with a few friends to do a festival, very pop-up. We had no idea how to do it. We blocked a street in Al Quoz, and we did something of a street culture festival called Street Nights. And it was really took us by surprise. It was at the time where street art was still considered vandalism. And nowadays, every mall, every developer, every government entity wants to have a street art piece in their property. It's a cool thing. So we came at this, really wanted to do those events. It started from a need to do something different outside of the mall. Actually, from the day one, our hashtag was Get Out the Mall. I think it worked because today, a few years after, we are doing food events and art events and street culture events every week in Dubai, in Abu Dhabi, and we've been able to bring tens of thousands of people onto this platform. We've brought hundreds of participants, food vendors, street artists, etc., that can now live through their passion. We built the ecosystem, and it's working. And a testament to this is that you guys are now integrating this new component to your own experience. So this, for me, is a great way to say that, yes, we are succeeding. We haven't reached success, but we are getting there. Governments now trust us to run their entire food festivals, for example. Stay tuned next month. There's a big Abu Dhabi food festival, for example, and we're preparing some awesome stuff there. So success for us is, are we able to bring people inside different experiences outside of the mall? I think we're doing that pretty well. But most importantly is, are we able to help young, small entrepreneurs succeed and defend themselves against the big international franchises? And we started with one food truck 4 years ago, and now on our platform, we have 150. Right? And we're still a long way from cities in US, for example, with Austin, Texas, has 1,000 such concepts. We're really working hard to go there. But yes, to answer the question, I think we're on our way to success, and I'm very happy about how things are going.
Great. I mean, I've just this week come back from Jeddah, where I was pleasantly surprised in a place called King Abdullah Economic City, where there is no retail mall, but they've used this concept, and I've seen Muhammad in the room, where someone said to me, Nelly the rapper was coming to sing in King Abdullah Economic City, and I was very, very surprised. For anyone in Jeddah this weekend, Yanni is on tour. Yes, but it's fully booked, and using this concept to bring people in. No retail mall in the city, more than 1 million people visiting because of what they do on weekends with these pop-ups. So excellent. Well, my next question then comes to Bhavit, because I'd like to know, given the physical environment, given the alternative to shopping malls, for new retailers, what are the real challenges when they come in and say, right, what's my insight for coming in with this proposition, and what is my route to market?
Hi. So I think, as we rightly said, the digital as an experience itself, or digital as a business proposition itself, is still too minute to really, to really consider it as a competition. I think the whole idea, or the whole idea of retailers who probably wants to turn digital, is to create complementary capabilities. I think first thing we need to understand is digital is not a destination. Digital is a utility. So if we start qualifying it as utility, and then get into creating experiences which are helping or assisting two primary users of digital. One is consumer, and second is the fulfillment capabilities or the fulfillment team that we create, right? And at least in my view of businesses that I've worked across globally, The first thing we need to focus about is creating this seamlessness in your operations before even we look at our customers. I think customers are omni-channel irrespective. They've been using mobile banks, they'll be using physical banks, they've been using ATMs for years. The consumers are ordering pizzas online, they're going to the store and having the same personalized pizza again. So consumers know how seamless they can get, and there is no training required to really make them seamless. But before you even look at your consumers, what you need to fix is making a seamless operations capability. And when we talk about seamless, there are two things that comes in very, very clearly. One is automation, and second is intelligence. Because if your store fulfillment team, or if you're talking about omni-channel, we're talking about experiences which are inter-store, infinite aisle, click and pick, and stuff like that. And if we say that if that requires your store team to think, how do I fulfill this? If it's a click and collect order, I need to go to multiple SOPs. If it's a delivery from store order, it's on different SOPs, then the logistic partners needs to be decided. If the decision making is in the hand of our operations team, the systems doesn't work. Most of the technologies, enterprises, they create steps to fulfill. What we need to really understand is we have to ensure that it's a single button. Most of us know that how Uber works, right? You end up booking a cab, and then you have a driver-side application, which makes it very seamless for him to just accept that cab and make a ride. I think that's exactly how we look at our operations capability when we work with some of the retailers here. That right from the allocation logics, which are intelligent enough to ensure that the product is fulfilled in, even irrespective of the inventory trickles which comes in. The allocation logics have a fallback mechanism. Reallocation capabilities are being built. Store team has to only hit a single button to ensure that the logistics are called for, transfers been created, invoices been generated, orders been tracked, customers been verified. He or she cannot go through multiple processes before the product is. So I think seamless operation, automatic operation, intelligent operations is the way to go omni-channel. Consumers don't need training to be omni-channel. They're pretty much omni-channel. Once you have these capabilities, you can turn overnight omni-channel. That's how we look at it.
Fabulous, thank you. My next question is for Phil. And based on the ever-growing need to differentiate and innovate, how do you start looking at a new mall or a repurposed mall from a concept and design perspective?
That's not the question you gave me, but it's a good question, and I think the answers I have here will work out just fine. I think we always have to start thinking about what does a shopping center mean to various parties. So for the owner of the shopping mall, it's a real estate investment. That's exactly what it is. To the retailer, it's a place that they want to or want to not locate because they make a decision on whether they can make a profit from generating X amount of sales a year. And for the consumer, I don't think they even think about the contrived nature of how we pull this all together. They see it as a place that's convenient or inconvenient, a place that has what they want or doesn't have what they want, a place that gives them the experiences. So we always have to think about the different users. So back to the question, how to pull it all together, right? I think it's always important that we focus on fundamentals. And one of the biggest fundamentals today is realism. Because we're in a very different time in shopping center development in this part of the world than we were even 5 or 6 years ago. So realism is extremely important. The markets are very challenging. Retailers are having difficulty maintaining their bottom line. Retailers are closing stores that are not performing, and they're being very cautious about where they're relocating or where they're opening new stores. And then the other realism we have to add in is certain markets, there's going to be potential oversaturation, which makes it even more difficult for retailers to define where they exactly want to be. The other thing we try to do with our clients, again, back to realism, is to understand that although you have a real estate investment and you want to have an excellent return on your investment, you have to understand the dynamics of your customer, which is really the retailer, and that the sales they generate will eventually help you sustain your bottom line in terms of rentals. So there's a direct relationship in every retail concept between what their sales are and how much rent they can actually afford to pay. So to have a disconnect in those two categories is not a good way to start a shopping center development. And then I'll just quickly list you the other fundamentals we look at, because the guy that said location, location, location was absolutely right on. And we oftentimes see people trying to build major malls that are not on major arteries or on major roadways or at major intersections. And those malls are vulnerable because people could build future malls that would intercept customers. So visibility is important, that you can see the mall. And once you see the mall, that you can get to it and you can find a place to park. And then probably the biggest fundamental is that there is actually a catchment area of people living that will come to your mall and shop. All these seem to be obvious, but they're not obvious in every project that we see. And then we have to decide, where will the mall fit in? What is a mall? Is it a lifestyle center? Is it a community center? Is it a super regional mall? Is the Dubai Mall and the Mercato Mall kind of the same thing? Yeah, it's a shopping mall. It has supermarkets, it has clothing stores, but one's like the Airbus A380 and the other one's like a Cessna airplane. They're the same, but they're very different. So developers need to understand the complexity of when you start to do mega malls. What is the focus of the shopping center? So if we're doing a big, huge regional mall, we recently did the Mall of Qatar. We're working on Cityland Mall. These are big malls, 1.1 million square feet, 2 million square feet. A regional mall requires a huge fashion component. And in this city, we have leaders in fashion, like the MAF properties and the Dubai Mall. So sometimes when you're looking at a new project, you may want to have the appropriate amount of fashion, but not try to be the be-all and end-all, because it's pretty hard to compete with what Mr. Alabar has put together at the Dubai Mall. If you're doing a community shopping center, it's all about convenience. It's all about services. It's all about making it easy for people so they don't have to go to the regional mall to buy milk and bread. They can go to their local shopping center. Lifestyle malls, we have one of the best lifestyle mall developers in the world right here in Dubai, Miras. They're teaching us that you can go to a shopping center location and have an experience. You go to a place. They make their projects adjacent to some, to the beach or by the sea, or in a cluster like in City Walk, where eventually there'll be more entertainment attractions, more hotel attractions, a large sporting venue. So that's really, the fundamentals we have to look at. I can go on and on and on, and I'm happy to talk to anybody. My list is long, but we try not to be ad hoc about anything. We try to be very strategic, very scientific, and go through a strategy. And I think that's the most important help we can give to a developer.
Thanks, Phil. I mean, that's great, because it just leads in now to Fahimuddin. With design playing an integral role in the success of any retail real estate project, could you share some of the non-business as usual thinking that's gone into the design process at Cityland Mall?
Okay. Cityland Mall is everything but shopping, because we have been working on this concept for the last 2.5 years, and this is a very innovative, unique concept which has not been tested anywhere in the world, which Cityland Group is trying to bring into the people of UAE and obviously for the international visitors. Among various design elements we have put together in this project, I would only focus on two major areas which would make this project stand out from any other retail destination in the world. We have designed this facility architecturally, keeping in consideration the different geographies and different people and residents living in this country from different parts of the world. We have, it's a circular facility, single level mall, which is quite unique. Generally, you don't see shopping malls in a circular shape, but it's a circular shaped facility with single level, which will make the shopping experience very convenient for people. It has got 6 pavilions, themed pavilions, with every pavilion representing a theme of one continent in the world. So basically, we are trying to bring people an experience of their home country. When people walk around Cityland Mall, they walk around the world. They see different pavilions, different diverse cultures inside within the property. This is one of the significant feature architecturally, where we will have 6 different themed pavilions inside the mall. And what is the unique and key USP of this project, which has never been seen in the field of shopping centers across the world, is we are trying to combine and bring nature, combining it with the retail experience, which is a new experience for people to have. And we are trying, with Cityland Mall, we are trying to reshape the future of entertainment. Because, you know, when we talk about entertainment, we talk about having a cinema, we talk about having FEC inside the mall, we talk about different games and electronic games. But when we talk about Cityland Mall as a destination, we are bringing a very unique concept for people, which is connected with the nature. We at Cityland Group, we specialize in landscaping business. That's where we have started getting into this market. We have delivered projects like Dubai Miracle Garden, which is a unique concept, which doesn't exist anywhere in the world, which is only in Dubai. And it's very fascinating for people, and we get a lot of traffic for that project due to the uniqueness of this project. Cityland Mall will have nature element, which we call it as a central park, which is spanned over 200,000 square feet in the center of the facility, in the center of the mall. This central park is located within the mall. So people, when they go to the mall, they basically see the nature inside the mall. And when I talk about Central Park has got a lot of components, different experiences within the Central Park itself, that would really give a new shape of entertainment for people. I would just name some of the features which we have put inside the Central Park. We would have a miniature version of Dubai Miracle Garden inside the mall, inside the park. Beside that, there's a mini water park facility designed for kids, which has got all the amenities like changing rooms, showers, and all the facilities, so people can leave their kids in the water park. They can play all the day. Beside a unique feature of this Central Park, we would have this very unique Japanese garden. There's a very famous garden in Japan. We are trying to bring the miniature of that Japanese garden inside the Central Park. We have got ancient tree garden, which is again a unique feature which has never been heard of. A unique feature of this Central Park, we would bring in 300 odd years old trees from Africa, olive trees, and we would bring them to the Central Park, which would have a dedicated space for this small trees from Africa. This would be a unique feature of this Central Park. Another unique feature within the Central Park has a connected facility, which is an amphitheater having 3,000 seating capacity, which is an outdoor facility which would run 6 to 8 months a year. It has a connection with the Central Park, where people would entertain themselves with a lot of events we would host almost for 6 to 8 months. I mean, there are a lot of unique aspects of this facility. If I want to talk, I can take, I think, 24 hours to define this, what Central Park is. Just in the last, I would say, we have got a 360-degree roof garden also overlooking the Central Park. This is an amazing view for people because the first level roof garden will have all the cafes and eateries where people can come and dine and enjoy their fine dining while overlooking their kids playing in the water park inside down the garden. And we have designed a walking track, also 500-meter long walking track on the first level of the garden, so which would bring in a lot of fresh experience for people to have in the mall. So this is all, I think, this is again a unique concept which has never been tested in the world, which we are trying to bring in. We are trying to combine the nature with the shopping experience, which would, I think, prove to be a very unique destination for people of Dubai.
Great, thank you very much. Unfortunately, we're going to have to rapid fire some of our answers now. But Mohammed, I'm very fascinated with the concept of storefront. It's something that actually around 7 years ago, I was recommending to some of my clients to consider. So it's a marvelous way for an existing retailer to test new platforms, and a great way for a niche operator to pressure test their concept in any particular market. So can you tell us through, can you take us through some examples of people who have approached storefront and concepts that have used storefront as that initial platform and going on there from into success?
Thanks for the compliment, by the way. Just a few years ago, by the way, nobody invited storefront. Nobody wanted to hear about pop-up shops, and it's very new to me that I have the opportunity right now to introduce my company and the concept of pop-up shops across the globe. What is quite fascinating right now is that only a few years ago, the environment, the retail environment was much better, and nobody was talking about retail apocalypse. This is a word that was launched in the US to indicate that retail is struggling, that there is a loss of momentum when it comes to foot traffic, and that more and more shopping malls are dying in the US, not in this part of the world, thank God. And right now, what we're trying to do as a company, as a tech startup, and this is very important to understand who you're talking to. Storefront is an innovative marketplace. What we're trying to do is to make retail accessible through technology. What we've been trying to do is to achieve Airbnb type approach in order to match basically retailers in needs of vacant retail space with the landlord, shopping mall, etc., etc. We've been compared, as I said, to Airbnb. We also are compared as the Snapchat because retail is moving into experience. Retail is shorter and shorter when it comes to the selling experience. And also, as of late, I've read comments about storefront being a Tinder for retail. Why? Because as of now, I believe that all the vacant spaces we've seen across the globe are not due to the fact that retail is dying. It's mostly because a lot of brands, retailers are either shy of contacting directly landlords or they don't even know how to do it because the process is very time-consuming, very painful, and through technology we're trying to minimize the friction experience when it comes to booking. What is quite interesting and is that the business model of retail or commercial real estate is changing. The historical way of running retail was the following. You match long-term liabilities, therefore you borrow money in order to invest in a shopping mall concept, and you match it with long-term revenues. Therefore, just the rental part of your business model. Just a few years ago, when we indicated to the market that retail will move into this concept of shorter and shorter duration, people were making fun of us. They believed that we were talking about a fashionable trend instead of a secular trend, And right now, obviously, I've been here for the past 2 hours and I heard the word pop-up shop probably 20 times, So clearly, you guys are more and more friendly when it comes to the idea that retail will be more and more exciting through pop-up shop. And to discuss about some very interesting concepts that were launched through storefronts, frankly, it will take 5 days. Amazon is doing pop-up shop, Nike. We had in Paris recently a Puma and Rihanna collaboration. Kanye West is only doing pop-up shop, and Kanye West is becoming a very strong name when it comes to the fashion industry. We've been lucky enough to work with Hermès, and we did the Louvomatic pop-up shop concept in France. We recently launched Netflix pop-up shop in New York. What we've seen as of late is that all the singers, rappers, they're no longer selling CDs or music, and they are all trying to maximize their visibility or their fame through selling product. And we've seen Kendrick Lamar doing a pop-up shop with storefront, DJ Khaled, and you have other celebrities, but I'm not someone who listens to music, so I'm sorry, I don't know all the names. But overall experience is replacing the selling part of retail. Visibility, showrooming is clearly the new DNA when it comes to retail. And therefore, we have seen right now this bottleneck or obstacle when it comes to trying a product or trying to sell something through pop-up shop. And that's all. Otherwise, I will be a little bit long. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Vijay, my next question is for you. In today's world, the smartphone is both a fashion accessory and a qualified sales channel. What are the major thrusts and some of the more innovative approaches to reach shoppers in store through their smartphones?
Should I make it quick?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. All right. So quite a few strategies that really work, right? I mean, there are a couple of them that we've done for some of the new age retailers now using mobile solutions. When it comes to mobile, I think everybody thinks it's only commerce, but what we actually go advise and build solutions in mobile and integrating omni-channel is really to create experiences in the stores. It is for two reasons that we tell them that it's either convenience or it's experience, right? So if you're a store and if you are also trying to bring more footfalls into your store, there are two ways to do it. Either you try and do more physical marketing, or you actually try and pull people from your online channels or social media or whatever you do, right? However, when there is somebody who gets into a store, is there an experience that you can create for him using these solutions? There is a retailer that we're working with right now where it's a retailer who's selling modular kitchens and modular wardrobes. There is no online commerce. All he does is basically he gets a customer in, he gets them to actually record all their requirements on a mobile app, make sure that there is a very nice system, a CRM system, which is capturing behind all the requirements, which is analyzing these requirements, and then you have a full gallery which is published through a mobile on a big screens, and then you're actually showing different lines of kitchens and wardrobes. And while he's doing that, he's interacting with your mobile app, and he says, oh, you know what, I like this, I like this, I like this. All this actually gets captured behind to a CRM system, which then goes to a designer, and a designer is able to then exactly produce the kitchen that you're looking for. So your time to actually create a kitchen is reduced drastically. And then what are you doing? You're actually creating a great experience for the customer there, right? Here is a person who actually goes to another store and then you have a lot of stuff on display, but you didn't like something, right? So is there a way that you can actually give him something more customized there? And then beyond that, if you create that kitchen, you are actually able to project that on a wall and show that retailer. That's an experience that you should do. It's an immersive experience that you have to create in stores. Now the same guy, when he goes online, there is a profile that gets created. Many times we discuss this use case. We say, okay, if I went to a store and tomorrow my wife didn't like the color of the shutters or something, is there a way I can change it? You can actually, because when you go to the profile page, there is a whole gallery out there on your side. Your wife or my wife might just say that, okay, you know what, you chose green, I don't like it, I like the blue. So let's take the blue kitchen. If I click that, it again gets captured into a profile, which goes back to the designer. The designer knows that, okay, your preference has changed now. Now, this is an experience that we want people to create, for retailers to create. And this has a tremendous effect on how a customer is interacting with a retailer. So we always go back and tell them, okay, from a strategy perspective, if you're using mobile or if you're using commerce, great. You can create the endless aisle concept and everything. I think it'll give you a lot of long run into getting a customer back to your store, but create an experience, and that is what will get the customer back to you.
Fantastic, Vijay, and I think it's a perfect opportunity for us to move the discussion beyond the GCC now. So, Mohammed, what I really want to understand is, one is the Egyptian model in terms of the retail mall classifications, and today, very interesting that you talked about moving it to the satellite cities and into the second cities of Egypt. What are the key similarities and what are the areas that are the major challenges for you as you go into the satellite cities?
Being the only one not being from the GCC somehow, so it's always an interesting experience to come to Dubai or to other cities of the GCC and just see what's happening and the new trends in shopping centers. And we'll be very surprised that Egypt, although not really being an active affiliation with GCC, is exactly the same. Now we have to really cater for the millennials and the Generation Z. And this is really what we're trying to do now in Egypt. It's the shopping centers. We're talking about shopping centers of the future. It's not really shopping center. The shopping center is merely a reflection of the trends and the lifestyles of our daily lives. So in order to be successful in our business, for the retailers who really trust us and they want to make money by being in our developments, for the developers and the investors who are also entrusting us to do their to develop their investments and to safeguard their investments. So what we're trying to do now is basically to reflect the daily lifestyles of Egyptians into our shopping centers, which are no longer shopping centers. They are now mixed-use experiences. The shopping center, to be successful, it has to really contain everything that we do in our daily lives. And this is exactly what we started doing in Egypt. We're not developers or operators of super regional shopping centers. We operate and manage community centers, pavilions, neighborhood centers. And it's always very difficult for those centers to survive when you have regional shopping centers around them. And now the name of the game is to try to hook our customers into our developments, not just through mobile applications or Facebook or is by having like community events and to try to involve our customers and our regular customers into the daily lives of our shopping centers. Egypt is not really a touristic country like Dubai. And so we have a lot of regular customers, not on once per week, no, actually 2 times a day into some of our shopping centers. It's becoming like a place to hang out, a lifestyle experience. They play their sports there. The clinics are also there, so they treat their kids there. Educational, we're trying to involve more educational centers into our shopping centers. So it's really becoming like a mixed-use development, entertainment, edu-entertainment, food entertainment, and sporty lifestyle. The reason why we decided to get more into the secondary cities and not the principal cities of Cairo and Alexandria that everybody knows is that we realized that with time, a lot of universities were developed in those cities, and that was not historically the case. So those secondary cities have started to retain their youth into those cities. And it was important for those young people who are really hooked on the internet and their phones the entire day to live the same experience that other young people are living in the capitals. So there was a demand for those shopping centers, the modern shopping centers into secondary cities. The lands were not expensive, so we were able to secure lands at good prices, but we topped the developments with mixed-use residential to make it like a complete family experience. And we think it's quite successful. Now Cairo is now we're going back into Cairo developments to have mixed-use shopping centers, entertainment centers into our developments also. The thing that I really realized that young people in all Arab countries, in the entire world, even in Europe, are all alike. The trends now, they really fly so quickly. So what really happens in the US, I think the US is quite behind actually. I think the Arab countries and the young people in the Arab countries are much more hooked to technology. They can afford to buy it. They can afford to use it. It's even more than Europeans and Americans, maybe not Canadians, maybe it's different. But the trends that we see in our shopping centers today in the Arab world, Egypt being one of them, are, I think, really outweighing everything that is happening in the US and Canada today. It's unrealistic experiences that we see in our shopping centers. And our people and our customers and our retailers also, who are really our partners, they are expecting this from us developers. It's challenging to be in a country like Egypt, where really political things are not always at the rest that we would like to see it. But it's a challenge, and I will welcome you to come to Egypt one day. Everything is quiet these days, irrespective of what you hear and what you listen over the media. Thank you.
Fantastic. All right, well, I've got a lot more questions to ask, but I have no more time, and I'm getting dirty looks in the back that I have to wrap this up. So, fabulous, thank you. I thought we covered quite a wide range of questions. We might have time for one question. Has anyone got any questions for the panelists?
We're trying to expand globally. Obviously, it takes time and money. Right now, the focus has been North America for us, where historically we've been the strongest. I'm looking into Mexico and Brazil. Obviously, Brazil is very interesting right now because the economy is struggling. Therefore, there is a very interesting contrarian play in order to enter the market when nobody is really into that. I would love to speak more if you guys have connections about the southern part of America. But right now, we are going to launch Canada in the first quarter of 2018, and then after that, we will see where the market is interested in storefront. Thank you.
Fabulous. All right, thank you very much. Thank you to all our panelists, and thank you for all entertaining us for the last hour.